Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, are we live already? The YouTube thing's still kind of interesting. I'm not even sure if I'm live or not. I'm using the right stream key. Right? I can't even. I'm not even sure if I'm live or not. Man, hold on. YouTube. Wait, am I even live? I don't even know if I'm live. Hold on. Still getting used to this YouTube streaming thing. Yo, what's up, KV? Wait, so that means I am live. By the way, yesterday I completely forgot about the disc light. So now the light's back. My bad about that, chat. What's up? We're gonna do some Minecraft again. Hold on. Yeah, YouTube just pops up straight away, huh? It just says live stream though. No, nothing. It just says WingWongLive stream. Interesting, interesting. Okay, cool. The quality looks kinda... What's my bitrate? My bitrate's like 6,000. I'm not... Yo, YouTube's kinda interesting. Oh, okay, it's normal latency, that's why. Would y'all prefer low latency or normal? I feel like normal will be okay. Because normal latency, you get the best quality. Oh, okay, it's normal latency. That the latency is kind of bad, I ain't gonna lie. That's no problem. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about being late today. What's new on YouTube today? Is there anything new on YouTube today? I have no idea. Is there anything good on YouTube? Let's have a look, shall we? Allow. Oh, let me change that location of the output and put it to... Why can't I change it? Wait, if I stop streaming, what happens? Am I back? My bad. Wait, I could do that? No way. That's kind of sick if I could do that. Yo, what's good? Not other than this. What you talking about? I'm not even watching on YouTube. I don't think there's anything on YouTube right now though. You know? Don't think there's anything on YouTube interesting so far. I mean, apparently the iPhone 17 thing's out, but like... I don't really know. What's this? 36 mind-blowing facts about New Zealand? Is it? Let me have... Yeah, right. Let me see if these facts are real or not. I'll be the one to decide.
New Zealand, 20bet is calling with a huge welcome bonus. 350
So loud.
170 free spins.
It's so loud.
Dive into non-stop excitement at 20bet. Where
It's
big
so loud.
means huge wins.
Please.
Don't wait. Sign up with 20bet today. Find us on the web.
Cold and flu.
Nah, there's nothing good other than this. Appreciate it, KV. Alright, let's have a look at the... What is this? 36 mind-blowing facts about New Zealand's geography? Let's have a look, shall we? Because we are in New Zealand after all. Might as well.
Beneath the Pacific lies a secret. A lost continent the size of Australia, hiding in plain sight. Above its drowned peaks, 2 islands hold Earth's most impossible.
Why can't I go higher volume?
Here, mountains grow while you watch. Lakes breathe like sleeping giants. Rivers win court cases. And somewhere in the mist, creatures from the age of dinosaurs still walk among us. This is New Zealand, where every law of nature gets rewritten. Fact 1. Zealandia, the lost continent. Imagine standing on a continent the size of Australia, knowing that 94% of it lies drowned beneath ocean waves.
Oh, okay.
New Zealand represents merely the peaks of Zealandia, Earth's most secretive landmass. You're walking on a hidden world that makes the visible islands seem like tiny stepping stones across a submerged giant that few know exists. Fact 2. The Ocean Empire. While tourists see 2 small islands, New Zealand commands over 4 million square kilometers of ocean, 15 times its land area. This maritime empire rivals entire continents in scope. The nation controls more Pacific waters than most countries control actual soil, making it a true oceanic superpower disguised as...
Yeah, but the thing is, there's no... Even if New Zealand has that much ocean, we ain't got no solid navy to stop anyone from taking it. So, like... Cool, yeah, well, New Zealand has a lot of ocean, but, like, our military's lacking. It's not... Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, okay, whatever.
Humble islands. Fact 3. The sleeping dragon awakens.
What?
Scientists watch the Alpine Fault with growing dread. This geological titan slicing through South Island carries a 75% probability of catastrophic rupture within 50
Oh, what? We're gonna die?
years.
50 years?
F8 strikes, and experts say when, not if, it will reshape New Zealand's spine in minutes of devastating, earth-moving violence. Fact 4.
Oh, okay, so what? Whoever's living down in that part of New Zealand's dead? Good to know.
The wettest stage on Earth.
What?
Step into Milford Sound and enter one of our planet's most dramatic theaters. Nearly 7 meters of rain fall here annually, transforming cliff faces into cascading curtains of water.
Life.
After storms, dozens of temporary waterfalls appear like nature's own Broadway spectacular, performing for audiences of mountains and fjords. Fact 5. The day the seafloor rose. November 14th, 2016. The Kaikoura earthquake didn't just shake buildings, it lifted the ocean floor 6 meters skyward. Marine life found itself gasping on what had been underwater moments before. Coastlines redrew themselves as New Zealand demonstrated that geography isn't permanent, but constantly, violently reimagined. Fact 6. Mountains in motion. While you sleep tonight, New Zealand's mountains grow taller. These aren't ancient weathered peaks, but geological teenagers, pushed skyward by relentless tectonic forces. The Southern Alps rise millimeters annually, young mountains still reaching toward heaven, as Earth's crust buckles and folds beneath your feet. Fact 7. The Pacific's deepest secret. Northeast of New Zealand, the Kermadec Trench plunges over 10,000 meters into Earth's abyss. In these crushing depths, alien creatures thrive around hydrothermal vents that belch sulfur and heat. It's an underwater alien world closer than Mars, yet more mysterious than space. Fact 8. The subantarctic sanctuaries. Beyond New Zealand's familiar shores lie the subantarctic islands, UNESCO treasures harboring creatures found nowhere else on Earth. These windswept rocks serve as evolutionary laboratories where birds developed in ice.
I've been there before.
Creating species so unique they seem designed by imagination rather than nature.
Yeah, the albatross or something like that.
Fact 9. When rivers become people.
What?
In a legal revolution, the Wanganui River and Te Urewera Forest gained human rights. They can own property, file lawsuits, and defend themselves in court. New Zealand transformed the relationship between humanity and nature, giving landscapes the power to fight for their own survival.
That doesn't make sense. How does a river... What? How does a river have rights?
The island where birds rule. On Stewart Island, kiwi birds outnumber humans. This southern sanctuary represents conservation's greatest victory, a place where native wildlife reclaimed dominance. Walk these forests at night and you're the minority species, wandering through a kingdom ruled by flightless birds.
Really?
Fact 11. A living window to dinosaur times.
Huh?
The Tuatara carries secrets from 200 million years ago. This isn't a lizard, but something far more ancient. The last member of Rhynchocephalia, unchanged since dinosaurs ruled Earth.
Yeah, but things small.
Touch a Tuatara and you're connecting with creatures that witnessed the birth of mammals. Fact 12. The land where wings won. New Zealand evolved without land mammals, creating parallel evolution's masterpiece. Birds became everything. Grazers, hunters, scavengers, and engineers.
Aren't those things extinct now?
This mammal-free world shows what Earth might have looked like if feathers, not fur, had inherited the planet after
Oh,
dinosaurs.
PQ, I ran some of those in my life.
Fact 13. Penguins in your backyard.
What?
Little blue penguins, the world's smallest, nest in New Zealand cities. These 30-centimeter comedians waddle through suburban neighborhoods like tiny formal dinner guests who've lost their way
But
home.
they're so small.
They prove that wildness and civilization can share the same address.
Now they got hunted down by all the
Fact 14.
house cats.
The mountain vandal. Meet the kaya, Earth's only alpine parrot,
kea.
and most notorious feathered criminal. These genius birds systematically destroy cars, tents, and backpacks with
Yeah, but the thing is, they're extinct now, aren't they? Pretty sure they all did.
scientific precision.
I swear they all did.
They've turned vandalism into an art form, proving intelligence and mischief make dangerous partners in nature. Fact 15. The city on 50 volcanoes.
What?
Auckland's 1.7
Oh.
million residents live atop 50-plus dormant volcanoes.
Okay.
The Auckland volcanic field represents a geological lottery where any cone could theoretically reawaken.
Yeah.
This makes Auckland perhaps the only major city where residents literally live on top of their potential destroyer. Fact 16. The island born yesterday. Rangitoto Island formed just centuries ago, making it younger than Stonehenge. Volcanic eruptions built this entire island while Maori watched from the mainland. It's New Zealand's geological baby, a reminder that Earth still creates new land when the mood strikes. Fact 17. The buried forest. Beneath Rangitoto's black rock lies a perfectly preserved ancient forest. Lava flows entombed entire trees, creating a subterranean museum. Every step across this island takes you over the fossilized remains of giants that perished in volcanic fire. Fact 18. The supervolcano's swimming pool.
Am I just living on a volcano?
Lake Taupo fills the scar left by a supervolcanic eruption that nearly ended human civilization 26,000 years ago. This tranquil lake
26,000 years ago?
violent
I don't
geological
even think civilization's even a thing. How can you say that? I swear. What?
events.
Oh my
Beneath
goodness.
its calm waters lies evidence of unimaginable destruction. Fact 19. Glaciers that break the rules. Franz Josef and Fox glaciers defy glacial physics, racing from snowy peaks into temperate rainforests at impossible speeds. Fed by extraordinary rainfall, these ice rivers flow faster than glaciers should, creating a geographical impossibility that exists nowhere else. Fact 20. The upside-down ocean.
What?
Fjordland's waters layer like a geological cocktail. Dark freshwater floating atop clear seawater.
Are we
This
using the same
inverted
clips?
ecosystem brings deep-sea creatures to shallow depths. Black corals that should live in abyssal darkness
Yo, straight up dredge.
thrive near the surface in nature's aquatic rebellion. Fact 21. Glacial masterpieces. New Zealand's elongated lakes tell stories written in ice. Ancient glaciers carved these deep trenches like divine sculptors.
Oh yeah, I forgot New Zealand's like
Thick
absolutely
tubes of
crazy.
frozen water. Lake Wakatipu's serpentine shape preserves the memory of ice rivers that vanished thousands of years ago. Fact 22. The jade that travels. Punamu greenstone forms only in South Island's crushing depths, where extreme pressure creates New Zealand's most precious stone. So valued was this jade that Maori trading networks carried it across the Pacific, making Punamu New Zealand's first international export.
Yeah, greenstone.
Fact 23. Pancakes made by time.
Pancakes.
Punakeki's limestone stack spent 30 million years becoming perfect geological pancakes.
Oh yeah, I've seen
Ocean
this.
pressure and time layered these rocks with architectural precision, while blowholes turned them into water cannons that fire seawater skyward during storms. Fact 24. The crumbling crown. Our rocky Mount Cook shrinks before our eyes. Recent avalanches have reduced New Zealand's highest peak by several meters, proving that even mountains aren't permanent. This geological humility reminds us that Earth constantly reshapes its own masterpieces.
Bruh.
You could win $100,000 towards your ANZ home loan.
It's just a bunch of
New
geography.
Zealand, 20bet is calling with a huge welcome bonus.
Why is it Yeah, YouTube. I'm live streaming on YouTube, bro.
Dive into non-stop excitement at 20bet.
You can't ban me for showing your own ads.
Don't wait. Sign up with 20bet today. Find us on the web.
Don't do it.
Fact 25. Masters of Time. In 1868, New Zealand became Earth's first nation to standardize time across its territory.
What?
This pioneering achievement synchronized human activity across vast distances, helping create the modern world's relationship with time itself.
That doesn't.
Small nations sometimes lead humanity's greatest leaps forward. Fact 26. The Time Rebels. Chatham Islands march to their own temporal rhythm, using a 45-minute offset that defies global convention. This time rebellion makes them one of Earth's few places where clocks follow geography rather than politics, proving even time bends to New Zealand's unique character. Fact 27. When islands play tug of war. The Kaikoura earthquake pulled North and South Islands apart by several meters in minutes. This tectonic violence demonstrated continental drift in human timescales, showing how plate tectonics literally tears countries apart and pushes them back together. Fact 28. Stone armadas. Submarine eruptions create floating pumice islands that voyage thousands of kilometers to New Zealand shores. These stone armadas drift across the Pacific like geological refugees, proving that even rocks can travel the world's oceans seeking new homes. Fact 29. Water like crystal. Blue Lake's water achieves optical perfection rivaling laboratory distillation. This natural phenomenon creates underwater visibility measured in hundreds of meters, making the lake bottom appear suspended in liquid air.
Oh, perfect for salmon.
Nature occasionally achieves what science struggles to replicate. Fact 30. Rivers of tea. Tannin-stained rivers flow like liquid amber toward turquoise seas, creating color combinations that appear digitally manipulated. These black water streams paint New Zealand's coastlines in surreal hues that challenge everything we expect from natural water systems. Fact 31. Staircases to the past. Raised beach terraces climb New Zealand's coast like geological staircases,
Huh?
each step marking an ancient earthquake that lifted land from sea. These natural amphitheaters preserve millions of years of tectonic violence in stone, creating history books written in geology. Fact 32. The capital at world's end. Wellington claims the title of Earth's southernmost national capital, sitting further south than cities in Patagonia or Tasmania. This windswept metropolis proves that civilization thrives
Is that Auckland?
even at the edges of the inhabitable world, where roaring 40s winds never rest. Fact 33. The strait that never sleeps. Cook
What's up?
Strait's currents change personality in minutes, transforming from calm channel to sailor's nightmare without warning. These waters between New Zealand's islands have earned legendary status among mariners who know that crossing them means negotiating with oceanic chaos. Fact 34. The lake that breathes. Every 30 minutes, Lake Wakatipu inhales and exhales like a sleeping giant. This siege phenomenon puzzled early settlers who couldn't explain why their lake rhythmically rose and fell. The breathing lake remains one of nature's most hypnotic mysteries. Fact 35. Underwater alien worlds.
What? Aliens?
New Zealand's marine territory harbors biodiversity so exotic, it resembles alien planets.
How do you know that?
Seamounts, volcanic trenches, and deep-sea mountains create underwater landscapes more mysterious than Mars. Scientists estimate they've discovered less than 10% of the creatures living here.
What?
Fact 36.
10%? You telling me there's a Leviathan down there? Probably.
Portland's cliffs transform into waterfall galleries during storms. Heavy rain instantly creates hundreds
The
of
reason they have a national
cascades
park is because
that
we can't
vanish
build civilization on it. Man, that video was...
spectacles appear like
It was too educational for me. Your boy forgot like everything. I literally forgot like every single fact. All I learned from this video was that, yeah, New Zealand's like... Because, you know, New Zealand's like on a tectonic plate or something like that. And like a bunch of mountains and hills and earthquakes and things like that. Although we haven't really had an earthquake in a long time. Did I just dox myself? I'm not really sure, but... You know, it's like... I don't know. New Zealand's kind of just like... One thing you know is that people can't swim over here. If you want to come to New Zealand, you're going to have to get on a plane or get on a big ship. There ain't no way about it though. You can't swim to New Zealand. So that's probably like the only benefit in New Zealand so far is that it is very hard for illegal immigration because literally you cannot go to New Zealand without coming with an airplane, because if like you literally would just die in the ocean, because ain't no way no one's swimming that far, and ain't no way a little buggy boat will even make it. That's like the only positive thing about New Zealand in today's world is that, you know, if you want to come to New Zealand, you're gonna have to register at the airport. You ain't no way you're coming in here illegally. You know, the sea's the natural border for New Zealand, so that's the only thing I can really think of for New Zealand, right? But again, the population is so entirely small that like they probably already like bring people in normally. I mean, I'm not even a white, like, who cares? Whatever. New Zealand's New Zealand, you know. It's a decent place to be. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, today my left ear is blocked. That was an interesting YouTube video today. Should I go? What should we do today, huh? I'm thinking we go take our revenge in Minecraft, which is going to take a little bit of a time. Is there anything... Do we even go back on the water park? We put 7.4 hours in it. I mean, like, we know that our strategy is pretty much just a restocker, and yeah, that's basically about it for the water park. I mean, I got the automation done, you know. The only automation thing we're looking for in the water park is pretty much just a very good ticketer. Okay, what kind of new games are there today? I was going to check out Sea of Thieves, but probably not today. I'm going to sort out some things. By the way, a monitor arm sucks. Man, I tried to put a monitor arm on my disc this morning. It's because I broke it at the very beginning, so it's like on a slight angle. Literally, the monitor stands that the monitors come with themselves are fine, honestly. No, they ain't really... My left is blocked, so I'm talking really weird, huh? Oh yeah, yesterday I finally fixed the shelving for my setup. Pretty much when summer comes around, this room is going to be very good. My fan is coming. So once the fan comes, I'm going to have air blowing out the room, and then from that window the air will come in, and then that will blow through all of the devices, and then yeah, so I got that down and sorted. I think we might go to Minecraft today. Probably go to Minecraft today. I mean, we could watch another YouTube video, because we're only like 20 minutes in. I did start late though, so I don't think we have much. Again though, there ain't really much on YouTube though, is there? Let's have a look again. Try to get some framework in here, but I'm not sure. There ain't really much on YouTube recently. Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube, but there ain't much to react to. Usually we just do horror stories before we go into the YouTube videos. No, before we go into the Minecraft stuff. We could do the water park simulator. I am wearing like multiple layers of clothing as well. Okay. Please. What's good? Huh. It's like cold. It's like cold and stuff. Are we just chilling? What's this? Oh no, I've gone to the degeneracy. 2 hours? Oh my goodness. 1 hour? Oh my. Killed by a prank. The Boland Hall fire. Fascinating horror. 1.3. One bad weld kills 123 workers. What brought down Swiss Air Flight 333? Lost forever after one wrong turn. Beer Camp Coastal Route. Trapped on a school bus minutes from safety. Special effect kills 3 Katerina Dedin. What? Well, we know what we're doing. The Mount Gambier disaster.
Join Kiwi Mobile today.
Lock in, chat. Let's have a look at this one. This one look kind of interesting. Caving, Subnautica, you know what I mean? Why this dude dancing?
$100,000 towards your ANZ home loan.
Why he dancing though? For real? What's wrong with him?
On the 28th of May, 1973, the caretaker of a campsite in the state of South Australia met a young woman named Christine Millett while she was purchasing coffee from the site's kiosk. She told him about her group's plans for the day. They would visit a nearby sinkhole named the Shaft, where they would dive down to the very deepest point of the flooded cavern. The caretaker, concerned, warned Christine that this was a dangerous endeavour, but she reassured him that they would be safe. Her group, she told him, were all experienced diving instructors and knew what they were doing. Within hours, however, Christine Millett and 3 of her companions would be dead.
Okay, wow, straight to the point.
That would change the history of cave diving forever. The sinkhole that would one day be known as the Shaft was first discovered in 1938, when a dairy farmer's horse stumbled and almost fell as it crossed a paddock in South Australia. The farmer investigated and discovered that his horse had stumbled because of a deep, narrow hole in the ground. Looking down into it, he saw water shimmering far beneath. The family which owned the land initially attempted to fill in the hole, trucking in and depositing stone and sand. They abandoned this effort after several thousand tons of rock had made no difference whatsoever. It was clear that beneath the field stretched a vast, underground lake.
Wow.
By the 1960s, this underground lake had attracted the attention of adventurous cave divers. The landowners allowed entry to divers, and the spot became one of the most popular in the country. The main chamber is huge, equivalent to a football field in size, with a drop of around 5.5 meters or 18 feet to the surface of the water. The main chamber is marked by 2 interesting features. First, there is the anthill-shaped mound of rubble created by the landowner's attempts to fill in the hole. This is referred to by divers as the rock pile. Secondly, during the middle of the day, when the sun shines down through the hole, a bright, distinct shaft of light illuminates the middle of the cavern, piercing down through the crystal.
Wait, so there's only that one light source?
It is because of this beautiful and striking effect that the cave is named the Shaft. Beyond the main cavern are 2 tunnels, which extend from the main cavern to the northwest and to the east. The northwest tunnel runs to approximately 80 meters or 260 feet deep, and the eastern tunnel runs to 124 meters or 407 feet deep. Their total length is not known, as the tunnels quickly become too narrow and obstructed to explore. On the 26th of May 1973, a group of 9 divers arrived in nearby Mount Gambier, intent on exploring the shaft.
Okay.
They included 3 siblings from the same family: 19-year-old Christine, 25-year-old Glenn, and 22-year-old Stephen Millett. They were joined by 20-year-old John Bockerman, 27-year-old Peter Burr, 24-year-old Larry Reynolds, 28-year-old Gordon Roberts, 26-year-old Robert Smith, and Joan Harper, who was around 25 years old. Most of the group knew one another through the South Pacific Diving Group of New South Wales,
Okay.
and all were experienced divers. Indeed, most of the group were qualified scuba diving instructors.
Okay.
However, while the group had a great deal of collective experience with diving, their collective experience with diving in caves was limited. Most of the group had not dived in a cave or sinkhole before, with the exception of Robert Smith, who had
Okay.
visited the shaft 8 times.
8 times?
The group camped at the nearby Queen Elizabeth Caravan Park and travelled out to the shaft the next day. They spoke briefly with one of the landowners, signed a guest book at the farmhouse, and then carried their equipment out to the entry hole of the shaft. On the first day of diving, the 27th of May, they used a pulley system to descend through the entry hole and then set up a weighted line in the water below. This line would act as a reference point, allowing them to ascend and descend more easily. They then descended down to the rock pile and spent a few hours exploring around its base, enjoying the crystal clear waters and poring over the mass of fallen rocks in search of animal bones and other interesting detritus. They then emerged and returned to the campsite,
Okay, sounds
leaving their
pretty
shot
chill.
line in place for a planned dive the next day. When the next day, the 28th of May, arrived, they purchased coffee from the campsite, where Christine Millett spoke briefly to the site caretaker about their plans. They also visited a local sporting goods store to have their air tanks refilled.
Okay.
Fully resupplied, they returned to the site and re-entered the cave, all apart from Joan Harper, who decided she did not wish to dive that day, and instead elected to remain at the cave entrance, preparing some soup for the group to consume on their return.
Okay, that's nice.
The other 8 divers entered and descended to the base of the rock pile. Here, Robert Smith began to feel unwell. He recognized his symptoms as nitrogen narcosis. This is a condition that affects divers when they venture into deep waters. It is caused by breathing compressed gas while under a lot of pressure,
Okay.
which causes disruption to the nervous system.
So you'll just swim back up.
As divers go deeper and the pressure increases, the symptoms of nitrogen narcosis often increase in severity. Symptoms include dizziness, confusion, tunnel vision, anxiety, tremors, and, crucially, diminished decision-making ability.
Oh.
The effects of nitrogen narcosis are often likened to the effects of alcohol intoxication.
Okay, so swim back up.
As Robert Smith began to feel some or all of these symptoms, he signaled to his fellow divers that he was going back up to the top of the rock
Smart.
pile. The rest of the group carried on with their dive.
Going deeper.
Around 10 minutes later, the majority of the group were close to the start of the Northwest Passage, at the very edge of the rock pile. With their air supplies running low, Larry Reynolds and Peter Burr turned back and rose to the surface, where they were joined by Robert Smith. All 3 were almost completely out of air, and quickly realized that their fellow divers would be in a similar, dire position. They changed air tanks and made several dives down to look for their companions, but were unable to find them. A significant amount of silt had been stirred up from the cave floor, making the water almost opaque. They were able to locate Stephen Millett's camera and torch lying on the floor of the cave, but could not track down any of the other divers. Christine Millett and Gordon Roberts had descended relatively far down the northwest.
Oh, so they just did. They ran out of
They
oxygen.
realized they were running short of air.
How do you...
They turned
Yo, I
around.
swear if you're diving, shouldn't air be like, you know, the most important thing to watch out for? So you're telling me that they just ran out of air and then just died? Is that what happened? They went in there, didn't look at the air, and then they just died?
And began an ascent, but instead of following the slope of the passage back up, they ascended almost vertically, rising into a rocky, dome-shaped hollow at the top of the passage. Blinded by silt and confused by nitrogen narcosis, they were unable to find their way out of the dome.
They just did.
They ran out of oxygen and died together.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Minutes later.
Oh.
Glenn Millett turned back with just enough time to make it to the surface. On his way back, he saw John Bockerman, who he would have known was similarly low on oxygen. However, John was swimming determinedly deeper into the Northwest Passage, away from his only possible chance of survival.
Huh.
John may have been suffering from the effects of nitrogen narcosis at this point, with the resultant confusion causing him to swim in the wrong direction. Unable to help him, Glenn surfaced. John Bockerman ran out of oxygen and drowned deep in the Northwest.
Oh, okay, wow. This guy does not play around with these stories, man. Straight to the point. Man ran out of oxygen, just died in there. GG. I kind of like this channel. I like how it gets straight to the point. Not even joking. Just got straight to the point. He went past them. He a little bit drunk from the nitrogen. He did. Anyways, that's kind of okay.
Stephen Millett was not seen by any of the other survivors. Later investigation would find that he had, at some point before drowning, activated a buoyancy vest he was wearing, either in an attempt to get quickly to the surface or, knowing that he would not survive, to try and ensure that his body floated up to the surface after his death. Joan Harper, who had remained above ground during the dive, ran to the farmhouse to raise the alarm. The police attended, but by the time they arrived it was abundantly clear that there was no way the lost divers could still be alive. The best thing that could be hoped for now was the recovery of their bodies. Though the police made several attempts to locate the 4 bodies, they were unable to do so, and left the site with the plan to pursue more training in cave diving in order to return for another attempt at some point in the future. After almost a year, the 4 bodies were recovered by a team comprised of police divers, experienced recreational divers, and an underwater film crew.
Oh, they were recorded.
By the time they were removed from the cave, the bodies had decomposed significantly and had to be identified by
that's nasty.
While the recovery of bodies was planned and undertaken, an investigation was conducted to determine why the divers had lost their lives. Some of the survivors alleged that the air they had refilled their tanks with at a sporting goods store in Mount Gambier was contaminated, and that this had contributed to the deaths of their companions. However, extensive testing was unable to find any contamination.
Yeah.
Instead, a number of contributing factors were identified. First and foremost, the group had relatively little experience diving in caves, and had not taken many established safety precautions for doing so.
Hayley, why is dermaplaning such a big thing in skincare?
Well, I thought when you do like cave dive, okay, I've never cave dived before, but I thought like you would have a line with you the entire time. So if you want to go back up, you just tug the line, you just go back up. Like rock climbing, you always have a line on you.
For example, they had not established a buddy system for the dive, nor made a clear plan before entering the water.
True, they just went in. They didn't even check the oxygen.
Nor set up a safety line to help them navigate out of the passage in an emergency. A combination of stirred up silt reducing visibility and nitrogen narcosis causing confusion had made returning to the surface almost impossible when the divers got into difficulty. In addition to this, it appeared that they had simply lost track of time and stayed underwater far longer than was safe before attempting to resurface.
Wow.
Following this disaster, police divers undertook significant extra training. It was a transformative step in the development of the South Australia Police Diving Unit, and left them much more prepared for future body and evidence recovery operations. In addition to this, the loss of life, combined with several other accidents around the same time, led to the formation of the Cave Divers Association of Australia, an organisation that represented and accredited cave divers in Australia. The shaft and several other potentially risky sinkholes were thereafter closed to anyone not accredited by the Cave Divers.
Oh, they monopolised it.
Since 1973, the technology used by divers has become significantly more advanced.
Yeah. This was long time ago then.
Most divers now use redundant extra cylinders, advanced navigational equipment, and secure safety lines when cave diving. Crucially, a different mixture of gases is now used in air cylinders, a mixture that reduces the effects of nitrogen narcosis and allows divers to go deeper underwater
1973
if breathing just compressed air. Despite all these advances, cave diving remains one of the most dangerous kinds of diving that exists.
I want to see what it looks like though.
Caves don't usually kill people. They've been there for a long time and they'll be for a lot longer.
Oh my goodness.
To the divers, it's world class. To anybody,
That's what it looks like?
it's just a hole in the ground. It's a whole different world underground.
Yo, that kind of looks cool.
So that clarity of the water is amazing.
The
Oh.
huge and dramatic
Damn. Wait, how'd they get lost in here? Oh, if they went down there, then they did.
the Defense Department leased the site for weapons testing.
Wait, what?
They were
Weapons
actually
testing?
punching sonar buoys under compressed air into the water. So rather than dropping them out of a plane,
It's the darkest and deepest recorded sinkhole in the region, dropping more than 120 metres.
Oh my goodness.
It was discovered by the owner's grandfather. Family's unsuccessful attempt.
Dude, never mind. That doesn't look fun no more. You only got one little light source. You have to rely on torches and stuff.
We tipped the stones down it and we really didn't have a clue how big it was underneath, and we had no hope of filling it up. It looks like an anthill down there, and we've tipped thousands of tons of stones down there.
Like Graham Kilsby, owner Trevor Ashby is thankful to have groundwater to grow pasture for his reputation. From 1969 to 1974, 11 people died exploring caves in the South
Oh.
Arms, and some clear signs below that agriculture is the main pursuit around here.
How is your entire thing down there? Isn't the hole like small as? How's that even there?
Sitting on the bottom there, that's interesting to go down and see. Somebody's obviously decided it was past its use by date.
There are still parts of this extensive underwater museum that haven't been explored. Divers hope landholders will one day give them permission to open those doors.
The challenge of a new site is always fantastic. It's a big thrill to put line in and have people follow where nobody's been before.
Oh. Yeah, no, I'm never doing none of that. Like, what? Ain't no way, bro. That's crazy. Nah, I'm good, bro. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a very interesting beginning of the stream. You know? Not gonna lie, that story YouTube channel ain't that bad. I mean, he gets straight to the point. The moths will eat them up later. What the hell? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's that time we start our Minecraft road again. Man, yesterday was a bit tragic, huh? We died and everything. It was very, very tragic. But I'm sure the season 2 is going to be absolutely fine. You know what I mean? We could visit the water park again. I don't know. Would y'all be down to see the water park though? You know what I mean? We'll see, we'll see. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Think it's about time we go to our little Minecraft hardcore, yeah? Okay, maybe I should redo the stream, huh? I might redo the stream, hold on. One moment, ladies and gentlemen.